I'm just going to say a few wee speeches, and I just wanted to thank everybody so much for coming this evening. It's great to see everybody. And tonight we've got teachers, social workers, psychiatrists, counsellors, vets, firefighters, midwives, and even a vicar. So I think we'll be able to cope with any eventuality that happens next. And Jackie might be around to take confession later if anyone needs it. 2019, it really has been an incredible year for us, with Fostering Compassion continuing to go from strength to strength. For those of you who were here last year, the biggest thing you will have noticed is we've got another room. Earlier this year, we received lottery funding to take over this beautiful room. We did allow the previous tenants to move out first before we took it over. So we got the funding from the lottery, and we decided to take over this room and turn it into our stunning Woodland Haven room. And we were delighted when Fred Macaulay, the Scottish comedian, agreed to open it, which was one of the many highlights of this year. It's a multi-purpose room which has been designed as a calming yet inspirational and motivational space for people to meet. It's already been used for training, workshops, one-to-one sessions, family contact, emergency support meetings, and our first intergenerational workshop where the age range was between 3 and 90. And we hope you will agree it's the most beautiful setting for this evening. I'm actually really tempted to move in. It would save the mortgage. It's hard to believe that it was only 6 years ago that Fostering Compassion began with just 10 children from 5 families in East Lothian. By the end of 2019, over 700 children will have benefited from the programme, with 229 in this year alone, our busiest year to date. As well as our main programme of workshops, we've connected with many new groups and charities working with care experienced children. We've delivered our second workshop to children visiting the UK via the Chernobyl Children's Lifeline Trust, and we've started piloting our workshops in primary and secondary schools in areas of deprivation or with children with additional support needs, fostering compassion in many different ways. We maintain a great relationship with Stirling and Edinburgh universities, with students joining us for work placements and to carry out their dissertations. This year we were joined by 3 master's students from Edinburgh University under the supervision of Professor Joe Williams. The work done by the students is being written up for publication in an academic journal, but Professor Williams wanted to share with us tonight that initial results from the Fostering Compassion study, which used pre- and post-test evaluation design, are very promising. She says children who participated in Fostering Compassion workshops showed significant improvement in their belief in animal minds, animal welfare knowledge, attachment to animals, attitudes towards cruelty. These findings indicate that the workshops improve children's orientations towards animals and are likely to reduce the likelihood of these children being cruel to animals in the future, which is really fantastic. This year, Fostering Compassion has been represented and given presentations at a number of different conferences throughout the UK. And I must admit, to my great excitement, I've been asked to speak at the Association of Professional Humane Educators Conference next year in America. So my plan for world domination has begun. And as if that wasn't exciting enough news, we found out last week that Fostering Compassion has won another award. We've won the 2020 Edinburgh Prestige Awards Welfare Education Project of the Year. So 2 more amazing achievements. Of course, none of this is possible without funding, and we are still living hand to mouth as we have the hard work of raising funds for each year. For anyone who has done this type of work, completing funding applications can be a laborious and thankless task with no guarantee of success. And I must apologise to my team for my grumpy days when I'm completing my 193rd application of the week. We're much like painting the Forth Road Bridge. Once we secure funding for 1 year, we have to start all over again, working on getting funding for the next year. We're working towards securing 3-year funding, which will of course give us a lot more security and allow for greater forward planning. 2019 really has been an amazing year, and Fostering Compassion has progressed beyond my wildest dreams. And none of this would have been possible without your amazing support and the backing of my incredible team. So thank you, everybody. And I must thank also Canine Concern Scotland Trust, who provide many of our therapy dogs, and of course Therapy Ponies Scotland, who have provided the fabulous ponies tonight, and Arthur and Winston. And I forgot to say, switch off your phones. So you're expelled, Liz. I can't complete our roundup of this year's activities without mentioning our most exciting and poignant project to date. As demand for our service increases, we're always developing new workshops. And this year we are in the process of creating our new Animal Heroes workshop. And this year we're in the process of creating this workshop, and it will be about teaching children about animals who save humans and humans who save animals. Some of you may be familiar with the concept of the McDonald Triad, and it's a set of 3 factors that has been suggested if all 3 or any combination of 2 are present together, they could be predictive of worrying behaviour in the future. These 3 factors include animal cruelty, bedwetting and fire setting. So our latest partnership seems a perfect match. It's a massive honour to now be partnering with our amazing Scottish Fire and Rescue Service for our Animal Heroes workshop, and thank you to those of them who have come tonight. They'll come to our workshop to talk to the children about animal rescues they've carried out, and also the dangers of playing with fire for both humans and animals. As many of you know, each of our workshops include a compassion element, be that making up goodie boxes of treats and toys for animals in shelters, be it taking jars of honey to rescue bears to help them take their medicine, or be it making up boxes of comfort, especially for senior dogs, looking for their forever homes, or those living their final days in hospices. The compassion element of our new Animal Heroes workshop involves the donation of the Smoky Paws animal oxygen masks to help with the resuscitation of animals rescued from fires. There is no doubt this workshop is the most special and poignant one we've done to date. The idea for this workshop started in my head around 4 years ago. 3 years ago, I gave a talk at the Dick Vet on fostering compassion and mentioned this idea and how much we'd like to connect with the fire service. At the end of that talk, a vet nursing student called Megan Ambrosovich Blair came up to chat with me. She told me her dad was a firefighter and her hero, and he'd be the ideal person for me to talk to. Megan and I stayed in touch to arrange a get-together between me and her father. During that very short time, I was struck by Megan's warmth of heart, compassion and empathy. When my old dog Mr. T died in the November of that year, Megan's compassion and understanding shone through in the words of comfort she sent me. I'd asked if I could take a couple of weeks to come to terms with losing Mr. T and then speak with her dad. This, of course, she completely understood. Less than a month later, on the 9th of December 2016, tragedy struck in the cruelest of ways. Megan, a beautiful, kind, compassionate and caring young woman with everything to live for, tragically lost her life in a car crash. From that point on, I vowed to make sure the Animal Heroes workshop would still come to fruition, but it would be done in Megan's memory and as a tribute to her. 26-year-old Megan was a regular campaigner for animal welfare, with her whole life and career ahead of her. I hope through this workshop we can do her memory justice, helping many children and animals in the process. It's really a great honour that we are joined tonight by Megan's dad, Kevin Blair, retired firefighter and recipient of the Queen's Fire Service Medal. And Kevin would like to say a few words. Kevin.
Hi, thanks for asking me to come along here tonight. It's a pleasure, honestly. Lovely. It's lovely to see the work that you do and the difference you're making. It's just over 3 years since I first heard of a person called Leslie Lincoln. My daughter Megan had just returned, all excited from a talk Leslie had given at the Dick Vets. A few months ago, I met Leslie for the first time. And what a lovely, hard-working, compassionate person she turned out to be. What do you mean that? I was a firefighter at Dunbar for over 30 years, 20 of them as officer in charge. And I know how crucial it is to have a committed, experienced, hard-working and dedicated team working with you. And I can see that fostering compassion as a great leader and team. And it saddens me that Megan never had a chance to be part of it. You do what? Random acts of kindness. Megan was a great believer in random acts of kindness. And here's an example of just one of them. Megan worked in a cafe near George Square in Edinburgh. At the end of the night, when the unsold cakes were being divided up for the staff to take home, Megan was out in nearby streets handing out said cakes to the homeless people. This and other kind acts I only found out about after her death. As a family, we like to continue these random acts of kindness. And one night, my wife and I were driving home in the car, and we seen a guy who was obviously a bit worse for drink, bouncing off the hedges as you do, and then when there's a gap and the gate's not closed, falling through it. And we looked at him, and initially I drove past. And my wife Lauren turned to me and said, Megan wouldn't have driven past. And I thought, you know, you're right. So we were around the scheme of the car and went back to look for this guy. He disappeared to where we first saw him, but we continued to look around in the car, and eventually we caught up with him again. And he was walking along the pavement with his hands in his pockets, and the next minute, down he went, face plant on the pavement, and I thought, oh my goodness, he's cut himself this thing. So we got out of the car, picked him up, miraculously, nothing wrong with him. He must have been so drunk, he was completely relaxed when he fell, no injuries. So I says to him, well, we'll take you home. Where do you live? Oh, just up here on the right, 2 or 3 doors up. I says, okay, so we got an arm each, helped him up the pavement. Where do you live? That house in there, that house in there. So we opened the gate, got him in the gate, took him at the front door, knocked on the door, no answer. He says, it'll be open. He says, just turn the door handle, open the door. So we turned the handle, opened the door, in we went, got along the hallway, there was somebody in the lounge, and he goes, this isn't my house. Got back outside, well, where is it he has to stay? It's that one, next door. So we got him safe and sound in his house next door. I don't know what his wife says to him when he came in that state, but we got him home fair and square. But these things we try to do rather than pass the person by. Megan would call me her hero. Turned out, after hearing some of the things that she did, the real hero was her. Leslie, you're also a hero. Thank you for all your hard work and for keeping Megan's memory alive through your workshops. So I meant to say right at the start that when you see people pulling out big reams of paper out of their pocket, you think, my goodness, they're going to be up there talking all night. But poor eyesight, big print, small speech. Random acts of kindness. Try one. It really makes you feel good. I'd like to leave you with a thought. One of Megan's favourite sayings, and also the name of a book by C.J. Fricks. Be the person your dog thinks you are. Thank you.
Kevin, thank you so much for your kind words.
You're
And
welcome.
you know, I know this is a really difficult time of year for you, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you. And I've got big print too. When we began the special appeal for the animal oxygen masks, we were given a list of 10 stations in the areas that we work that still needed masks and for those actual stations. And publicity around this appeal means that I've got the great pleasure of telling you tonight that we've already raised enough to buy all 10 of those kits, and we haven't even held one workshop yet. It will be piloted next year in Dunbar Primary School. So it's an amazing achievement, and thank you for all your support in helping make it happen, Kevin. We also received the great news that the masks have already been used, and there were 5 cats rescued from a fire in the Borders just a couple of weeks ago. 3 of those cats were overcome by smoke, and they were resuscitated using the animal oxygen masks that we donated in Megan's memory. We will keep this appeal running indefinitely because there's many fire stations that still need them. A lot of the fire stations have more than one appliance, so we will keep going, and we will make it part of our work to help ensure that every fire station in Scotland has one of these animal oxygen masks, all in Megan's memory. Anyone who wants to donate can still do so. We've got a wonderful.org page, and there's a special appeal section on that page for the oxygen masks. Right, as if that's not enough. I'd like to now welcome Dr. Elizabeth Ormerod, who forgot to switch her phone off. I'd like to invite her to say a few words. Dr. Ormerod is a great friend of mine, and she's been an amazing mentor. She's a veterinary surgeon with over 40 years' experience in companion animal practice. She is the chair of the Society for Companion Animal Studies, and she's the vice president of the International Association of Human-Animal Interaction Organisations.
I asked her if I could say a few words because I'm very impressed by her programme. And I just want to say, humans and animals have enjoyed meaningful relationships for millennia. We know that the first documented evidence we have for this goes back about 30,000 years when people were bred in the posture cuddling the dogs. The domestication, or rather the divergence of the dog from the wolf, is now placed at about 100,000 years ago. And we don't know whether that divergence resulted as domestication or if it just happened. Personally, I think because we and dogs are so attuned to each other, that the divergence resulted as people domesticating wolves. Dogs actually know more about us than we know about them. But it's only in the last 50 years that these human-animal relationships have been subject to any serious scientific scrutiny. And it actually started in Scotland in 1979. My charity SCAS, I wasn't in it then, but it was founded in Dundee by 12 forward-looking people from human health, social science and veterinary medicine. And the health education person at in Edinburgh, Dorothy Wallster. These 12 people founded this, which is now a huge movement. And what we have learned is extraordinarily surprising. We now know that human health is inextricably linked with companion animal health, and to reach your potential in health and attitude behaviour. Having a bond with an animal is actually key, and the children that do best in life are those that grow up understanding animals, spending time with them, learning their behaviour, developing empathy. One of the things we've learned is that people who have animal contact are a third less likely to develop any form of heart disease. They're a third less likely to have a heart attack or stroke, and they're 9 times more likely to survive if they have a heart attack or stroke. This knowledge isn't widely out there, it should be. Alongside these studies, we've got progressive practitioners like Leslie, who is working with what we call a transdisciplinary approach. So she's taking information across different disciplines to help people in special need. And what Leslie is doing is called animal assisted interventions. And there's beacons of best practice in this. So some programs are doing things well. Some of them are actually doing things badly, especially in countries who haven't got a background in this. And then we've got a few places that we term the centres of excellence. And in my role in the different charities that I work with, I've travelled widely to examine and advise on programmes across the globe. We've now got 100 member organisations within IOHIO, the global group, and we represent 300,000 individuals who are working in the sphere of human-animal interactions. For 40 years I've been visiting and advising on these programmes in the UK and overseas. And I have to say that Leslie's is a centre of excellence. This is an outstanding programme. She reaches troubled children through a deep and compassionate understanding of both children and the animals. In this programme, children and animals are helping each other. Leslie has broken new ground in her understanding of what can be achieved. At a recent international conference in Oxford a few weeks ago, the question was asked, so there was a presentation about the link between child abuse and neglect, animal abuse, interpersonal violence. Does anybody know if anything is being done to reach these children? So proud. I stood up. Yes, Leslie Winton. Foster compassion, and the delegates there, they hadn't been aware of what Leslie's doing. So I'm not surprised that Leslie's been asked to go to the States next year to talk about her work. This really is a groundbreaking. I cannot stress enough how groundbreaking this is. I've been involved in work with offenders, young offenders, and most serious offenders within the Scottish prison system, and what Leslie's doing is outstanding. A lot of the guys that I've worked with at the high end in the prison system and in psychiatric care, they had very adverse things happen to them when they were young, and they didn't get this kind of help. So what Leslie's doing, this is the future, and it needs to be funded. To keep people in prison costs a hell of a lot of money, and they're badly damaged. What we need to do is reach the children that have been damaged and heal them while they can be healed. So there's everybody that can to help Leslie.
I don't think I'm going to get my head out the door. Thank you for all the kind accolades, but I cannot do it alone, and I just have the most amazing team. I've got brilliant board members who are so supportive. We've got a great mix of academics and professionals on the board, and my team that are here day in and day out and put up with me, and my board, honestly, really, so it's not just me, it's all the team as well. But thank you everybody for coming tonight. Special thank you to Kevin and Irene, really thank you so much. I think we've got a raffle. Where's Michaela? She's sorting it out. And there is lots and lots of food left, so please stay as long as you like.